What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is October 3rd of 2017. Well, folks, as you all know, cryptocurrencies have been on the up and up, and we've seen a lot of optimism return into markets after the recent sell-off we saw back towards the end of August. And now, with all this optimism coming into markets, there is a ton of new ICOs to cover, and they're killing it. I just can't keep up with all of them. I mean, really, folks, I did some calculations, and as you can see probably from all of the ICOs I have at the top, these are just a few of the examples that are coming to market. And I calculated that all of these ICOs so far, now of course this could be subject to change in a day or two with how probably fast they're moving, these ICOs as a whole have added over $2 billion of new valuation to crypto. Think about that, $2 billion. I know in the grand scheme of things it doesn't seem like much, but to just come onto the market and gain that much traction and valuation is huge. It's huge for blockchain, it's huge for ICOs, it's huge for cryptocurrency as a whole. So I thought, seeing as I know I cannot cover all these, I've covered a few of them. We talked about Kyber and we talked about Salt, so I'm not going to go over those today. However, I'm going to briefly go through all of these, and I'd like to know which ones you want me to cover in depth. So, if you can, go down to the description and vote on the poll that we have in the description and tell me what ICO you want to see covered. So, again, there is just so much traction going on with these ICOs, and I'd like to know what you all want to see covered. But, to fully dive into all of these, I can't do it today. It would be too large of a video, but you can see a lot of these are just trending like crazy. Whereas the market's generally down today for the most part, we see Tron, VChain, GX shares. We go down to SONM. We have Cardinal, which I got to talk about in a minute. It's a crazy valuation. Kix ICO. Golden. I mean, there is just so many ICOs absolutely killing it in this market that have just come out of nowhere. So, again, let's go ahead and take a brief look at each of these. The biggest one is Cardinal. Cardinal has been absolutely killing it. They've been averaging around a $600 million valuation from the start. I had never heard about Cardinal or its ICO, but I mean, it got on Bittrex right away, which is really nice. I got to give them that. Again, they're going to need to get on more exchanges for this, but interesting. I've got to keep my eye on it. And basically, Cardinal is trying to be an open source project. It's running off of advanced features that any protocol previously developed can work with in the sense of smart contracts. And it's supposedly off of some scientific philosophy. Of course, I haven't looked into this deeply, so you've got to do some more research on it, learn about it. One thing I did like, though, is that they have works that they're going to be trying to create a debit card so you can use the cryptocurrency in physical brick and mortar stores. So I like that they're trying to kind of get their cryptocurrency into the payment solutions market. I like that. Kyber, we've already looked at. If you want to learn about that, I recommend you go watch my video on it. Share was the biggest one out of all of these at its start. It started off at a valuation over $1 billion. You can probably imagine my reaction when I was scrolling through CoinMarketCap. I had never heard of Share, and this Chinese ICO has a valuation of $1 billion. Shows you how crazy crypto is right now, folks. But if you go through Share, I mean, you'll learn that there's a few different kind of benefits they have. And of course, as I said, I can't go extremely in depth. They do have zero knowledge proof technology, which I personally like. And that's something I've been, continuing to push in the crypto community, how zero proof is going to continue to be used. And they have really other good accolades that go towards backing up the coin. I'm just curious as to whether or not this can get really mass scale adoption. The branding is relatively nice. They've gotten some decent exchanges. They're on Binance. But to be honest, I just don't know if this is really worth even the $200 million valuation it's at. I'm going to look deeper into it, though. If you want to see it covered, you let me know, guys. And again, Salt, I've already covered. But Walton Coin. Walton Coin, I've gotten a crap ton of requests from on this channel. And I think it's rightfully justified. Walton Coin is working with RFID technology. I know about this probably more than any of them. But it's applying RFID technology with the blockchain. And you can use this for a variety of things. You can use it for supply chain management. You can use it for all kinds of tracking, whether it be, I mean, there's different types of, tracking that are in the works. I don't know how far Walton Coin is planning on going because I haven't extensively looked into it, but you could use this for tracking data, such as weather, tracking quality of like shipment for goods, knowing where a good is in the supply chain. Again, there's so many different applications, and supposedly Walton has gotten some business business partnerships recently, which has led to OneCoin going up. And I feel bad because I did kind of ignore people when this came out. People were saying that this was going to be big, and to be fair, I missed out on it. Then again, I just don't really participate in ICOs, and they only had this on Binance, really. I don't, I don't trade on Binance, so I'll have to maybe consider getting an account so I can look into it. But again, blockchain and RFID is the major proposition that one's trying to bring, and I think it's an interesting concept. Seems like it's been around for a while, I think. So again, if you're interested, leave a vote down below. Next one is Chainlink. So Chainlink is mainly trying to, they're doing, again, really doing really well on the valuation, killing it on their ICOs. Basically, what Chainlink is doing is it's utilizing smart contracts, it's trying to link smart contracts from different things. So for example, you can see here, they can connect smart contracts to any external APIs. So this could be for market data, events data, bank payments, retail payments, and it's bringing it all onto the blockchain, okay? So I think that this could be very important because there is a serious problem here with transmitting data through smart contracts and different APIs. So again, I think this is interesting. I just don't know enough about it yet to really talk about it. So if you want to see more, I'd love to cover it. It seems interesting. Next up is VChain. VChain has been killing it, again, with its ICO, coming almost around $100 million valuation. VChain itself, as we scroll down, the world's leading chain of goods and information platform. Oh yeah, so basically, again, what they're aiming to do is hopefully serve as a company, the world's earliest blockchain technology company, really top blockchain team. I don't think it's the earliest blockchain technology company, but basically, I'm assuming that it's used for transporting goods to maintain services and all kinds of different industries. You can see they've got luxury goods, agriculture, food and medicine, government, logistics management. I mean, this is pretty interesting. They've got actually nodes in a few different countries as well. So I'm assuming by VChain, it just sounds like supply chain and really trying to distribute business across the world. So again, it seems like they've got a decent market. It seems like it's a Chinese ICO, seeing as I had to translate the page. So again, interesting. It looks like one of the few Chinese ICOs that escaped all the regulation. Last one I want to talk, or not, actually not the last one, sorry. The next one I want to talk about is GX shares. So GX shares is sitting around a $90 million valuation, which is definitely optimistic. And this is basically doing with data and credit services. Now, again, it's another Chinese ICO, and with Chinese ICOs, we've got to really look deep and really understand if these are good. So protects user privacy, first rich hand data sources, data copyright and traceability, and it does not cache user data as well. So it's pretty interesting. The website looks nice for the most part, but again, we've got to see if it really can take off. This is a nice market to fit into, but there's all these kind of data on the blockchain markets. As much as I think it's going to be an industry on the blockchain, what makes it stand out? That's going to be the question. Next up is the Tron ICO. I remember I learned a lot about this through Binance. Not too much in the technology, but I kept on hearing about it. Basically, Tron is a decentralized platform for entertainment. Okay, so it's a protocol based on the blockchain. And again, these kind of whole entertainment on the blockchain ideas are interesting. I've just got to see really how they stand out. The marketing looks very nice. This is, again, another Chinese ICO. Many of these are Chinese ICOs, keep in mind. But yeah, Tron had a lot of optimism coming out as well. So we'll have to check that out potentially if people want to see it. Next up is the Ken ICO, or the Kik ICO. As many of you know, Kik is a messaging app, and they came out with Ken. They even stated, they're like, look, we've got to come out with some form of, a way to increase Kik as a whole, like to revolutionize Kik or messaging apps. As you can see, they have a large supply of Ken, and it's really only 2 Satoshis per Ken. However, or maybe it's 20. No, it is just, yeah, it is just 2 Ken. My bad. So again, Ken is getting a little bit of optimism. It's sitting around $77 million in valuation, and again, it's a currency that you can use on the Kik platform. They're trying to find different ways that it can build value behind the token, but again, it is interesting. You should watch the video. I think they've got a really good brand name behind them. As much as Kik is not the choice of mine for messaging, it does have a market, and I think that that's going to give Ken a sense of valuation. It just seems like to me though, it's a slight gimmick. It's slightly gimmicky because if they can't really have an established form of value behind it, I just don't see why I need a currency over the Kick platform. And why only Kick? It limits me in that regard. So again, whereas it has a benefit for being behind the Kick platform, it is limited as well. Now, Sentra is one that I have gotten requested to cover, and I also got a donation from their team. That's not going to lead me to cover their coin, though. I'm just going to be fair. They left some huge, like, $100 donation on my live stream. So, again, I want to cover this if you all want to see it on my channel. However, this has done relatively well since its ICO came out. It's a payment solutions competitor. They've got all kinds of different types of standouts. They're trying to work with physical payment solutions. I know they have something along the lines for e-commerce. Again, I mean, it seems like it's interesting, but there's 10x. There's Monaco. I mean, there's so many different competitors. Token Card. What's going to make this stand out? I really got to know that. Okay. So again, if you all want to see it, let me know. Next up is Loopring. Loopring has been killing it over the past few hours. However, it's definitely not one of the larger ICOs. But on HitBTC, it's been really getting some volume. And we can go ahead and take a little bit of a look into Loopring. Loopring is taking on decentralized exchanges. So it's being able to exchange between parties and shielding users from counterparty risk and reduce the cost of trading. So we need this right now. This is again another Chinese ICO, but if they can launch this, I think individuals in China understand the necessity for this more than anything, because there is a need for a decentralized exchange now. We need it now more than ever. China needs it now more than ever. And it has been in the works for quite some time between all these different types of, ideas and ICOs coming out. So hopefully Loopring can take off. It looks like they've got a decent, design to them. It seems like they're trying to be professional about it. But again, I got to see if y'all want to see it covered on the channel. All right, then we've got Golden. So Golden is another ICO that's been doing relatively well. Actually, oh, sorry, no, Golden is not. My apologies. I actually had a wrong selected ICO on this one. My apologies. SONM, this is another one as well that has come out in July and has really started to gain traction over the past few days. As we take a look here at SONM, and this is a supercomputer organized by network mining. So the concept itself sounds very interesting. I'll be that honest though, I don't really know how to visualize it. There is some use cases here: machine learning, site hosting, scientific research, game servers, video rendering. So I'm assuming again it's kind of like a golem. It's like a decentralized computer where you can display processing power, whether it be on the graphical side, for your CPU, your GPU, whatever it may be, computing power, graphical power for other individuals. So if that's what the case is, I think it's interesting, but I've got to see where they are in the progress of their cryptocurrency. The last one I want to talk about is Regal Coin. This has got to be the silliest out of all of them that I've seen. Regal Coin, I think there's a reason it's only a $40 million valuation, but it's still overvalued in my mind. Regal Coin literally doesn't have anything that's a selling point for it. And I mean, you see it right at the start, it's like, what is Bitcoin? It's trying to sell that it's alongside Bitcoin. It's literally built off the original Bitcoin protocol. It even says it's actually not much different from Bitcoin. And the only thing that it sells is that I think you can make anonymous transactions with it. I don't know how they do that. I'm assuming they have some kind of way, either taking it off the public ledger, or I don't know, maybe having something that gives it a sense of privacy. But the big thing that literally says is the difference between Bitcoin and Regal Coin. Bitcoin and Regal Coin are not much different. The difference is in opportunity and price. To have one Bitcoin, you have to prepare more than 4,000. Regal Coin has a bigger opportunity. It doesn't give it a bigger opportunity. I saw that one thing and I was just like, no. But what I did like is they do have where you can actually lend out your Regal Coin. So if they have a lending peer-to-peer lending system, that could be big. But they didn't advertise that really well. So again, I don't know. There's just all kinds of, I think this is a great candidate to end off on when we're saying how there is a lot of ICOs out there, folks. And again, I want to emphasize, seeing as I can't cover these, there's a reason for it. There is so many ICOs that not only can I not do it in my spare time, but it's really not worth covering all of these. A lot of these ICOs you just saw on the screen are going to fail, folks. I want to be real with you. I'm going to tell you something. If you stuck around this long and heard me ramble through these different ICOs, I'm going to tell you something that other YouTubers won't. I've traded in equities markets. I know how it works. And especially in a new market like this where we're seeing the dot-com bubble for cryptocurrencies, and the dot-com bubble, if you don't know, is the first internet boom in the the late 90s and early 2000s. Folks, we are in dot-com 2.0 with a lot of these ICOs. A lot of them will fail. Not many will take off. Even the cryptocurrencies you see in the top 100, most of them won't take off. Most of these you will not see in the top 100 in the coming months. Just gonna be fair with you all. So you've got to play it safe. You've got to diversify, and you got to pick winners out of dip, as we've been talking about on this channel. But until the next video, everyone, I want you to please leave your vote down below in the description and the poll. I'd like to hear what you all want to see on this channel, and I want to cover as much coins as I can if you all want to see them. That being said, everyone, I want to cover what you want to see. I'm not covering an ICO simply because, oh, this company wants me to cover their product. No, I'm doing it because you want to see it. All right? Keeping it fair, keeping it honest, and making sure we cover what you want to see, folks. Anyways, that's it for the video, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.